Hello, everybody. Now we are going to continue from where we left off in the first video, okay? Now, okay. The last Byzantine Emperor, Constantine XI, died fighting on the walls when Mehmet II conquered Istanbul, remember? Okay. What happened after that? Well, seeing himself as the successor to great emperors such as Constantine and Justinian, Mehmet at once began to rebuild and repopulate the city. He chose the conspicuous promontory of Seraglio Point as the location for his Constantinus palace, Topkapı, and he also repaired and fortified Theodosius II's walls, the big walls, remember? Istanbul was soon the administrative, commercial, and cultural heart of his growing empire, which means the capital of Ottoman Empire. The building boom Mehmet kicked off was continued by his successors, with Süleyman the Magnificent and his architect, Mimar Sinan, being responsible for an enormous amount of construction. The city was endowed with buildings commissioned by the Sultan and his family, court and grand viziers. These include the city's largest and grandest mosque, the Süleymaniye, which was built in 1550. Later, sultans also added mosques, and in the 19th century, numerous palaces were built along the Bosphorus, among them Dolmabahce. As the Ottoman Empire grew to encompass the Middle East and North Africa, as well as half of Eastern Europe, Istanbul became a fabulous melting pot of nationalities. On its streets, people spoke Turkish, Greek, Armenian, Ladino, Russian, Arabic, Bulgarian, Romanian, Albanian, Italian, French, German, English, and Maltese. Many languages. A true cosmopolitan city at those times, even in those times, yes. However, what had been the most civilized city on earth in the time of Süleyman eventually declined along with the Ottoman Empire, and by the 19th century, Istanbul had lost much of its former glory. Nevertheless, it continued to be known as the Paris of the East, and to affirm this, the first great international luxury express train, the famous Orient Express, connected Istanbul and the French capital in 1883. After founding the Turkish Republic, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk decided to leave behind the imperial memories of Istanbul and set up his new government in Ankara, a city that could not be threatened by gunboats. Robbed of its status as the capital of a vast empire, Istanbul lost much of its wealth and atmosphere. The city's streets and neighbors decayed. Its infrastructure was neither maintained nor improved, and virtually no economic development occurred. But since that time, a renaissance took place, and public transport has been massively upgraded and continues to be improved. Suburbs have been renovated, and parklands now line the waterways. When Istanbul won the right to become the European Capital of Culture in 2010, other ambitious projects were undertaken, and many major buildings have benefited from painstaking restoration. Istanbul's cultural transformation is just as marked. The seedy dives of Beyoğlu have been replaced by arty cafes, bars, and boutiques, transforming the neighborhood into a bohemian hub. Galleries such as Istanbul Modern, Arter, and Salt have opened here, showcasing Turkey's contemporary art to the world. The live music scene in the city has also exploded, making Istanbul a buzzword for creative, energetic music with a unique East-West twist. And the new generation of artisans is refining and resonating the city's traditional crafts industries, making for exciting and unexpected shopping experiences. In short, Istanbul is a cosmopolitan and sophisticated megapolis that has well and truly reclaimed its status as one of the world's greatest cities. Yes. Okay, the sites of Istanbul, let's see. Located between the Black and Marmara Seas, the Bosphorus Strait divides Europe from Asia and Anatolia. On its western shore, European Istanbul is further divided by the Golden Horn into the Old City in the south and the New City in the north. At the tip of the historical peninsula in Sultanahmet, the center of Istanbul's UNESCO-designated World Heritage Site. It's here that you'll find most of the city's famous monuments, including the Blue Mosque, Sultanahmet Cami, Ayasofya, and Topkapı Palace, Topkapı Sarayı. The adjoining area, with hotels to suit all budgets, is actually called Can Kurtaran. Although if you say Sultanahmet, most people will understand where you mean. Up the famous Divan Yolu Boulevard from Sultanahmet, you'll find the Grand Bazaar, Kapalı Çarşı. To its north is the Süleymaniye Mosque, which graces the top of one of the old city's 7 hills, and further on are the western districts. Downhill from the bazaar is the Golden Horn, home to the bustling transport hub of Eminönü. Over Galata Bridge, Galata Köprüsü, from Eminönü is Beyoğlu, on the northern side of the Golden Horn. This is where you'll find the best restaurants, shops, bars, and nightclubs in the city. It's also home to Taksim Meydanı, Taksim Square, the heart of modern Istanbul. The city's glamour suburbs include Nişantaşı and Teşvikiye, north of Taksim Meydanı, and the suburbs lining the Bosphorus, especially those on the European side. However, many locals prefer to live on the Asian side. Üsküdar and Kadıköy are the 2 Asian hubs, reachable by a short ferry drive from Eminönü or Karaköy, or a drive over Bosphorus Bridge. Now let's talk about Sultanahmet and around, okay? It's not surprising that many visitors to Istanbul never make it out of Sultanahmet. After all, few cities have such a concentration of sites, shops, hotels, and eateries within very easy walking distance. What are there in this area? Okay, first, Ayasofya, yes. There are many important monuments in Istanbul, but this venerable structure, commissioned by the great Byzantine Emperor Justinian, consecrated as a church in 537 and converted to a mosque by Mehmet the Conqueror in 1453, and then declared a museum by Atatürk in 1935, surpasses the rest due to its innovative architectural form. rich history, the religious importance, and extraordinary beauty. Now, let's talk about this building, okay? Ground floor. Let's begin with the ground floor. There are 2 floors, ground and first floor, okay? Ground floor. As you enter the building, have you ever been to Hagia Sophia? I have. It's really beautiful. You have to go. You should go and see by yourself. Okay, as you enter the building and walk into the inner narthex, look up to see a brilliant mosaic of Christ as Pontecrator. Pontecrator means ruler of all, okay? Above the 3rd and largest door, this is the imperial door. Through this is the building's main space, famous for its dome, huge nave, and gold mosaics. The focal point at this level is the apse, which means yarım kubbe arkadaşlar. Dome tam kubbe, apse yarım kubbe demek. With its magnificent 9th century mosaic of the Virgin and Christ Child, the mosaics above the apse once depicted the archangels Gabriel and Michael. Today only fragments remain. Byzantine emperors were crowned while seated in a throne placed within the Omphalion, the section of inlaid marble in the main floor. Omphalion şey demek, bu mermer taşlarla döşenmiş bir mekan olur kiliselerin içerisinde. Orada taç çıkıyormuş Bizans imparatorları. Bu yerlere, yerde yapılan bu mermer kaplı döşemelere Omphalion deniyor. Ottoman additions to the building include a minber, in English it's pulpit, and mihrab. In English it's prayer niche, indicating the direction of Mecca. Okay. Also large 19th century medallions inscribed with gilt Arabic letters, Hünkâr Mahfili, and an ornate library behind of Omphalion. Yes. Looking up towards the northeast, you will see 3 mosaics at the base of the northern tympanum, which means semicircle, beneath the dome. These are the 9th century portraits of Saint Ignatius the Younger, Saint John Chrysostom, and Saint Ignatius Theodorus of Antioch. To the right on one of the pendentives is a 14th century mosaic of the face of a seraph. Seraph is a 6th-winged angel charged with the caretaking of God's throne. In the side aisle to the northeast of the imperial door is a column with a worn copper facing, pierced by a hole, known as the weeping column. Ağlama sütunu var arkadaşlar, weeping column. Legend has it that the pillar was blessed by Saint Gregory, the miracle worker, and that putting one's finger into the hole can lead to ailments being healed if the finger emerges moist. Evet, orada bir delik var. Parmağını sokup çevirince hastalıklarınız iyileşiyor diye böyle bir inanç var arkadaşlar. Bunu da görmüştüm ben. Herkes sıra bekliyor parmağını oraya sokmak için. Öyle enteresan. Evet. Ondan sonra cama. Upstairs. When you go to the upstairs, what happens? Let's see. To access the galleries, you have to walk up the switchback ramp at the northern end of the inner narthex. Bu narthex denen şey arkadaşlar kiliselerde böyle arkalardan giden koridor benzeri böyle yerler. When you reach the top, you'll find a large circle of green marble marking the spot where the throne of the empress once stood. In the south gallery are the remnants of a magnificent dais. which is Last Judgment. This 13th century mosaic depicts Christ with the Virgin Mary on his left and John the Baptist on his right. When you continue to walk further on, at the eastern apse, at the end of the gallery, is an 11th century mosaic depicting Christ enthroned with Empress Zoe and Constantine IX. And the right of this is a 12th century mosaic depicting the Virgin Mary, Emperor John Comnenus II, and Empress Irene. The emperor, who was known as John the Good, is on the Virgin's left, and the empress, who was known for her charitable works, is to her right. Their son Alexius, who died soon after the portrait was made, is depicted next to Irene. In the North Gallery, look for the 10th century mosaic portrait of the Emperor Alexandros. Okay. Now we are going to continue to talk about this. I'm going to finish our second lesson. I'm going to continue to talk about Hagia Sophia and other things in our third video. Okay. Bye bye. See you.